Bigfoot, a 50-year journey come full circle, written by Dr. Matthew A. Johnson. I'm Willie Rose, and we are reading the book, and we're on chapter 21, entitled The Trolls Invade SOHA. On December 25th, 2015, Cynthia and I spent Christmas night in the Southern Oregon Habituation Area, or SOHA. Little did we know it would be our last night there. It was chilly, and snow partially covered the ground. Because the sun was going down fast, we put some bread products in the gifting bowls and set them out in the gifting area away from the base camp. Shortly after our return to the base camp, our SOHA Bigfoot Forest People family immediately surrounded us. I explained to them what Christmas was about, and Cynthia and I proceeded to sing various Christmas carols to them. Although we could clearly hear them walking around the perimeter of the base camp that night, we were perplexed the next morning when we couldn't find one single track in the snow. As we drove off the mountain, we were clueless about the plans that were already in progress for the trolls to invade SOHA a couple days later. No matter where you go on planet Earth, you will always find kind people with good hearts and open minds. You will always find people who are willing to help others out at the drop of a hat. They're willing to give others their time, money, and emotional support. These kind people are an inspiration to all of us and motivate many to pay it forward to help others. Finally, these kind people help to bring light into the darkness and love to the unlovable. The Bigfoot Forest people are drawn to these kinds of humans. However, to everything there is an opposite. We have yin and yang, the light side and the dark side of the force. God and the devil, Jesus and the demons, good and evil. Why do you think the Star Wars movies are so successful? Simply put, it's because the storylines are all centered on this simple truth: good versus evil. Everyone enjoys the Star Wars movies because they want to see good triumph over evil. In the end, no matter how bad it gets, everyone wants to see faith, hope, and love prevail. The greatest of these is love. Well, almost everyone. Then again, we do have the trolls among us. The trolls are a small group of individuals who have found one another in the dark cesspools in cyberspace. Birds of a feather flock together. They're also known as haters. They're the group of people who plot against others and love to rain on their parade. No matter what evil acts they engage in, they will find a way to justify their behaviors in a way that makes sense to them. In the meantime, everyone else's jaws drop in disbelief that any human being would intentionally behave that way towards someone else. In a nutshell, trolls hate others because they hate themselves. They project out their own self-loathing perceptions onto others in order to avoid their own interpersonal pain. Misery loves company. They have no understanding of love your neighbor as yourself because they have no love for self. As a result, they feel best when others are in pain. They rejoice when others are in tears. They celebrate their nefarious triumphs while others grieve the loss of their accomplishments. In short, they shun the light and love of God while dancing in the dark with the devil. They are blinded by their own self-hatred and mock all that is truthful and good. The life of a troll is a very sad life indeed. 2 days later, the trolls arrived at the SOHA base camp, spent about 30 minutes there, shot a video, declared that I was hoaxing, and posted the coordinates online for the rest of the world to see. By the way, I will not mention them by name because they're not worthy of penning their names in ink on the pages of my book. They're not worthy of the time or attention. The funny thing is that they thought they were going to receive positive responses online from the Bigfoot researchers community after they posted their video. Instead, they were hammered by everyone for violating the unwritten and unspoken researcher's ethic, thou shalt not invade another's research area. How did they find the location of Soha? Well, because one of the 40-plus people that I brought up there threw me under the bus and revealed the location to the trolls. I know exactly who did it, too. Although my natural response is to want to respond in kind, I refuse to lower myself down to their level of pond scum. By the way, this wasn't the first time that the trolls attacked me in a very personal way. On a previous occasion, they filed a false complaint with a psychologist licensing board alleging drug use and psychosis. They actually attempted to go after my livelihood. Fortunately, the board saw through their disingenuous motives, dismissed their complaint, and gave me their contact information because the complaint was so inappropriate. The psychologist licensing board made it clear to those filing the false and bogus complaints that I've not harmed any of my clients and that they're not in the habit of monitoring the hobbies of psychologists. Case closed. When Cynthia and I learned that the trolls had invaded Soha and watched the video online, we both cried. We both felt like we were kicked in the stomach. We grieved the loss of 10 years of work. We couldn't believe that anyone would stoop so low and be so proud of their behaviors. Very, very sad. Many kind people with good hearts reached out to us and offered condolences. Shortly thereafter, I was given a vision of some mountains and surrounding scenery that I had seen about 15 years earlier. I was told in my mind, if you go to this spot, we will guide you from there. The grief and loss were short-lived. I was excited to receive the vision. I had never been knowingly led to a research area before by the Bigfoot forest people. What the trolls intended for evil was ultimately used for good. That's the end of Chapter 21. Next, we go to Part 4, the Interaction Research Method, and Chapter 22, the Southern Oregon Interaction Area, or SOHA. You've been listening to the reading of Bigfoot, A 50-Year Journey Come Full Circle by Dr. Matthew A. Johnson. I'm Willie Rose.